Welcome to another video. In the previous video, we were talking about characters of entomophilous, flowers, means the flowers pollinated by insects. In line with that, the last point which I was talking was, in some plant species, floral rewards are in providing safe places to lay eggs. So not always the plants like to give the pollen and the nectar as a rewards to the pollinator. In some plant species, other than this, they can provide some locations or spaces in the plant for laying the eggs, helping the pollinator. So for this statement, I would like to discuss two examples. So one example is the relationship between the yucca plant and yucca moth. So this yucca moth is a pollinator. So this is the one which will carry the pollen grains from one flower to another flower, right? So the relationship is so intimate between these two species that they cannot live without each other. So the yucca plant depends on yucca moth and yucca moth depends on yucca plant. So the relationship I can describe it as obligate pollination mutualism. It's an obligate pollination mutualism. So that's one example here, right? So another one is the relationship between Amorphophallus and its pollinator called the carrion beetles. So in this case, the carrion beetles are the pollinator. So that is a pollinator which will bring the pollen grains carry pollen grains from one flower to another flower. So first we'll discuss in detail how the relationship exists in yucca plant and yucca moth. So the relation between yucca plant and yucca moth. So here let's see. In case of yucca plant, it produces in fact bisexual flowers, and you will find the pistil at the center of the flower, and here are the stamens. So the anther and the pollen grains at its tip, right, and this is the stigma, and this is the petal. So this is the petal, and this is the stamen, and this one is the pistil here, and we know this is the stigma. Fine. So now this yucca plant which produces these flowers, I told already they are bisexual, and probably they avoid self-pollination by a condition called protogynous. So where the female flowers mature earlier than the male flowers. So it may exhibit a protogynous condition, right? As a result, both the reproductive structures will not come to maturity at the same time. That will help in avoiding self-pollination, and will aid only in cross-pollination. So now let's see how this pollination takes place in this yucca flower. So here the yucca moth, when it comes, already this will be carrying the pollen from another flower. So while coming here, right, it will deposit the pollen on the stigma. So pollen deposited on stigma. So once this is right, so it happens, what you say. So once it is finished, the insect may move down in search of the ovary. And we know the space inside, we call it locule. So the insect will put a hole, okay, and then lays eggs inside the, okay, locule. So these are eggs of the insects. So eggs of insect. Okay. So it oviposits, okay, right, in the locule of ovary. So once this is finished, right, now the insect like to get out from the flower. So while it is moving out, it will take the pollen from this anther, okay, to another flower. So this is how the pollination takes place in case of the yucca flowers here. Now these eggs hatch into okay, larvae. So they will hatch into larvae, and these larvae, okay, will feed on some of the seeds. Okay, by the time the eggs hatch into larvae, this whole structure will develop into a, of course the whole structure means the ovary will develop into fruit. Okay, by the time the ovary develops into fruit, okay, the ovules inside will develop into seeds. Okay, by the time the larvae are developed, so now the larvae have food, so they eat these, okay, some of these seeds. Okay, so the care is taken that all these larvae will not eat all the seeds. So definitely it will keep, okay, some of the seeds so that the plant perpetuate, okay, to the next generations. So this is how, okay, the pollination takes place in yucca plant with the help of this yucca moth. Okay, so now we'll see about how the pollination takes place in case of Amorphophallus and its pollinator, how it pollinates the Amorphophallus. Okay, so pollination in Amorphophallus, okay, by the carrion beetles. Okay, so here the meaning of this carrion is, okay, that decaying flesh of dead. So these beetles are the one which like to live in, okay, decaying animals. So the dead and decaying organisms. So these beetles will go there and lay eggs actually. So to attract them, this, okay, Amorphophallus also have to, okay, produce the same kind of, okay, scent. So this emits, okay, scent of decaying flesh. So this emits the scent of decaying flesh. So one species of this, which we'll see here, Amorphophallus, okay, Phallus titanum. Okay, so this Amorphophallus titanum is also called, or I mean commonly called, okay, Titan arum, or also called Jaminkan. It's called, okay, Titan arum or Jaminkan. So this Titan arum produces, okay, the largest inflorescence, okay, so in the whole plant kingdom. So it produces a largest inflorescence, okay, and that large that inflorescence may be of 6 feet in height. So it will be 6 feet in height. So let's see how it will be, the plant. So it has a big, okay, bracts, okay, that got modified, and we call them, okay, spade. So this is a okay, so this is how you'll see, and you will find a very long, okay, structure, and this is actually called the spadix. Okay, it's spadix is a type of inflorescence, and this is its okay, spade. It's a black, okay, right, and this one from here to here, it may be around 6 feet in height. Okay, so now let's see how this pollination takes place in case of this Amorphophallus. So we'll open or remove the spade and see what's inside. Okay, so this is the okay, spadix, right, and here I'm just mentioning this spade. Okay, right, and this is the spadix inflorescence. So this, all this spadix inflorescence, okay, so it will have both male and female flowers. So it will have the male flowers on the top. So all these are okay, the male flowers. Okay, so below this you will find female flowers. Okay, so all these are the female flowers. Okay, so now that the carrion beetles, okay, that bring the pollen from okay, another flower. Okay, so carrion beetles, okay, bring pollen from okay, other okay, flowers. So other flower meaning other Amorphophallus flower. Okay, so when now these insects, while they walk here, they slip into this, you know what I call, okay, right, a narrow point here, and then they get trapped. So here they enter, here they get trapped. So while they get trapped here, the pollen grains which they brought will be getting dusted on these okay, female flowers, and thereby it results in okay, pollination. So here the pollen grains dusted by okay, the carrion beetles, dusted by those carrion beetles, and thereby achieving the pollination here. So now right, the male flower, so in the same way, right, how we have seen in case of this yucca flowers, okay, here also it shows, right, it exhibits okay, protogynous condition. So already we know the protogynous, which means the male flowers okay, will not mature okay, earlier than the female. So I say protogynous, which means the female flowers mature earlier than male flowers, and this protogynous condition will actually help in okay, preventing self-pollination. So the protogynous condition okay, helps in preventing okay, self-pollination. Right, so the beetles will get trapped here for 1 or 2 days. Okay, so during that time they dust the pollen on the female flowers, and the female flowers get pollinated. So after 1 or 2 days, right, the male flowers will mature, and by the time okay, so the spade will be losing its you know what I call okay, structure, and it may fall off. So the spade, you know what I call, falls off. So when the right spade falls off, the beetles get a chance to escape from this okay, right, from this point, and while they are escaping, they may come in contact with the okay, okay, male flowers. Okay, not may, they will definitely come in contact with the male flowers, and by this time already I said they are mature, and now they produce a lot of pollen grains. So while they are escaping, they okay, pick up these pollen grains and then move out to another flower. Okay, and Now during this process they may lay eggs, okay, here, okay, right. So this is how the pollination, okay, takes place in case of this Amorphophallus, right. Now we'll see. So this is all about, okay, so one statement: in some plant species floral rewards are in providing, okay, right, safe places to lay eggs. Clear? So the next point under the, okay, characters of Entomophilus, will continue, okay, few more points before we begin with another topic called outbreeding devices. Okay, right. The next point: flowers offer, okay, edible pollen. So not all pollen is edible. In some cases, in some plant species, they are going to produce, okay, right, edible pollen here, right. So edible pollen, okay, is offered to, okay, some insects like bees. Okay, so that is the, okay, one feature of these Entomophilus, okay, plants here. Then flowers pollinated by insects, okay, they produce sticky, okay, and right, rough. So they are going to produce right, sticky and okay, the rough, you know what I call pollen, so that they can easily stick to the insect. Okay, so rough means they may have some spines or some other structures which will help them to cling to those insects, and the insects can, okay, carry these pollen from, okay, one flower to and another flower here. Then flowers pollinated by beetles and flies. We know these beetles and flies like to, or they get attracted towards, okay, unpleasant smells like rotting flesh and so they usually, you will find, okay, decomposing materials. On these decomposing materials you may find these beetles and flies. Okay, so the flowers pollinated by these beetles and, okay, flies, they secrete, okay, foul smell. They're going to produce, okay, foul smell, right. And that is right. Already we have seen in case of Amorphophallus. So example is Amorphophallus, and one more, okay, example is, okay, Rafflesia. Okay, so this Rafflesia is a right, largest individual flower, right. So Amorphophallus is not a flower. Actually this will have inflorescence, the cluster of flowers. So whereas Rafflesia is the largest okay, individual flower in case of okay, plant kingdom. So they produce, you know, what I call very foul smell like rotting flesh. Okay, so smell. So these, okay, produce, okay, rotting flesh smell, okay, or scent, so to attract those beetles and flies. So these are some, okay, characteristic features of Entomophilus, okay, flowers. So right, so with this we have completed, so how the pollination takes place in the plants. So right, we'll see the next topic, we'll see is okay, about outbreeding devices that we'll discuss in the next video.